You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
Right, Chris.
Oi, there we go. Let me get rid of that and let me put that up. There we go. How are we doing? Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, good day, goodbye. Hello, wherever you are in the world, one of those will apply to you. Welcome along. This is LTID TV1 from Leicester Till I Die. Thank you for joining us live. If you're watching it on YouTube, join in with your predictions in the chat. It's all for fun. I say that knowing that I'm having a shit season so far. And let me just say in my defence, right? In my defence, I have been away for 4 weeks. I mean, Brad can shake his head all he wants in the green room. It is really difficult to predict games 4 weeks in advance. So that's going to be my excuse for the whole season, and I'm going to stick to it. But no, do join in. And if you are watching this on catch up, add your comments below. And don't forget, of course, subscribe to the channel. That is free. If you can like the video, that is also free. We would appreciate that. And why not click on the notification bell? Then you'll never miss another channel and video. And if you are feeling really, really generous and want to support the channel, $1.99 a month. I've just had to pay to renew StreamYard, which is 300 odd quid. 335, 340 quid, 100 quid to do all the graphics, etc. So $1.99 a month. It's not even the cost of half a pint of beer, but it all helps me. Especially now I've got an extra mouth to feed, having announced I'm going to be a granddad today. And I have to say, it was the easiest I ever done. It was certainly a lot easier than having my own. I had now to do with this one. But thanks so much. Brad is in the green room. I'm going to bring him in because otherwise, what's the point of having him on the show? This is the prediction show. Good evening. Brothers, good evening, sir.
Good evening to you too, Christopher. And may I just say, you won't be able to use that excuse.
Yes, I will.
You won't, folks. And this will be the reason why. Chris should go to Australia more. Example A, his highest scoring week. Oh, it was last week when he was in Australia. He scored 6 points. Chris the week before. Oh, he got his average of 4 points. The week before that, what did Chris do? Where is Chris? Oh, he got 6 points. What about the week before that? Oh, he got 4. So he scored 20 points. He managed to score 20 points whilst being away, mate.
Then I want to recount on this.
More points whilst being in Australia than in England. So your excuse is you come back here. That's your excuse, mate.
Well, I want to recount on the points I've got if I got those in the last weeks. I'll tell you. I mean, Tom, hi, how you doing, mate? He says we have internet nowadays. Love the excuse. Look, mate, if you're asking me, do I want to go and pet a dolphin and see whales and stroke a rhino, or think about who's going to beat who at the weekend in the Premier League?
Obviously, He talks about the weekend of the weekend. Of course he does. And stop calling your exes after animals, Chris. That's very wrong.
No. I came back from the holiday and there was glass all over the bathroom because one of my shelves had fallen down. And then I had to get rid of my old boiler. I've known her 20 odd years, so she had to go. But that came to be fitted, and that's wrong, so I've got to have another one fitted. Highfields is in. Hi, Highfields. How are you? And whose side are you on here, Tom? Love it, Brad. Well done, mate. Tom, I hope you got your leak sorted out. He showed me his table, and he either lives on his own and can't be asked to use any cutlery, so he eats everything out of the saucepans and what have you. Or he had a leak in his roof. I think it was the latter. Have you sobered up for your holiday shenanigans yet, Chris? Look, what can I say? It had to be done. I mean, I wasn't doing it for me. I was doing it for you lot out there. rating the ciders purely for you lot, but and I've carried on doing it since I got back. I have had my COVID jab today, so if I'm a little bit all over the place, I have felt like absolutely shit warmed up. Ben, hi Chris and Brad, sorry I'm late, or as long as you brought a note, mate, that's all that matters. Chris, when is Brad doing the next watch along? He's not.
I know, I'm the popular choice. Hashtag Bradford watch-alongs. They've been saying. I didn't convey the situation. I didn't stir the pot at all. I'm just saying I was very popular whilst you was away in Australia.
Yeah, but there was a popular of one.
It's still more popular than you've got. Where's the Chris's watch-along gang here?
Whose channel is this, mate? Yes, I'll leave it at that. My house roof was like the Titanic that day, mate. In good news, the house and I are still here. Brilliant, mate. Brilliant. Right, before we start on the predictions, and we're going to look back at the week 7 scores, some shows here that I think you may be interested in. Last night, I interviewed Le God, as he's called down on the South Coast, Matt Letitia, who is a Southampton fan, and interviewed him about the upcoming game, obviously at the weekend. Amazing honour to have him on, and I thank him very much for giving up his time. The watch along with Chris is coming up at 2:15 on Saturday, and on Monday at 7 we got the weekend review, and the aforementioned Tom FM 303 will be joining me and Brad. We'll be looking at all the games, but we'll delve deeply into Southampton, Leicester, of course, and then Tom will also be watching Liverpool, Chelsea for us. So those are all coming up. Looking forward to it. What did you think of the results last week? Well, not last weekend because it was some boring England game, wasn't it? But I mean, there's still a lot of teams that haven't yet got a win under the belt.
No, and from a Leicester perspective, in the nicest way possible to these teams, long may it continue. Especially with our run of games we've got, minus Man U in the Carabao Cup and in the league. But then again, it's Man United this season. It's still a good game to be having, I guess. It's good to see. I mean, it's safe to say, Chris, I don't think this is too much of a spoiler alert. Nobody got correct result for the Wolves-Brentford game.
No,
and I bet that only got about 3.5 seconds worth of coverage on Match of the Day, being there were both goals in it. But some surprising results. It turned out Sean Dyche and Ange Postecoglou had got their notes confused because Spurs knew what it's like now to throw away a 2-0 lead against Brighton. Fun fact about that game, not just the fact that Spurs threw away a 2-0 lead and fucked it up, but only 2 people scored correct results, as you well know, Chris, and it was the 2 strangest people in the group, Paddy and Anthony, and they both went for Brighton 3, Tottenham 2. So how strange is that result? Well, it tells you a lot if they're the only 2 getting correct results from the game week 7 fixtures, Chris.
I thought it would be easier than this. Yes, I mean Spurs. Yeah, I mean they were just being Spursy, weren't they? Chelsea surprised me not being able to beat Nottingham Forest. I mean they had a bit of a bad start, and we were all laughing at Chelsea, but they are top of the form league on the last 4 games. Villa, I thought, would actually do Man United. Everton did well. I mean that was a good point for them, hosting Newcastle. West Ham demolishing Ipswich, and again a bit of a weird season for West Ham. They seem to win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Maybe they're actually looking forward to having. Maybe they regret. Sorry, I should say, getting rid of a certain Mr. Moyes.
Possibly.
Fulham did well. I mean, they were unlucky to lose 3-2. I didn't. Well, say unlucky. I'm going off the score there. I haven't even seen the game. And look, let's just have a look. Say Arsenal beat Southampton, Brentford Wolves was just a goal fest. Liverpool only getting one against Palace, that surprised me because Liverpool at the moment are the form, the leaders, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Sometimes you've got to win ugly. We said that a lot about our football last season when we were winning games and the better side, but we were only winning maybe 1-0 or getting a late goal, a second goal late on and killing it off. But yeah, I thought, is there any real surprise in the outcomes there? Probably the Chelsea Nottingham Forest game. And Chris, I watched that game. Forest were down to 10 men, and they nearly nicked it in the 110th minute. I believe they had a corner right at the end, and if it wasn't for a fantastic save by Sanchez, 10 men Nottingham Forest would have walked away with all 3 points. Bit of a weird one. And just as that is, something's just turned up for me and it's just been dropped at my door. Great. That's all right. I'm back in the room. We're back in the room. But yeah, I mean, some worrying results. My dad's still in the Wolves denial box about Wolves, but I think it's a little bit worrying when you're struggling as you are, like Wolves are, if you go away from home and score 3 goals and come away with nothing. I think I don't know if there are any Wolves fans in there that are viewing this at any point, whether it's live or watching it on catch up. Let us know. Are you worried by that sort of result? Because for me, Chris, talking relegation rivals right now at this point of the season, I'm starting to look at them like Southampton, thinking, well, if they don't sort it out soon, they could get put. If Leicester can get a good run going, hopefully over these next 3 or 4 league games, could start to really put the gap between.
We did a show recently, didn't we? And when we compared predictions at the start of the season, and I had Wolves in 18th, so I had them getting relegated. So I'm not so far. Tom says I've put my predictions in here for Monday. Got to be called out on Monday. Are you still been able to do the show on Monday, Tom? Because obviously I need to know and plan it in advance.
I'm still here, mate. I'm just on camera while I sort this thing out that I've had delivered.
So I'm not sure what you mean there, Tom. I want to, before I come on to Luke's comments. All right, we got our first win, and I don't suppose it matters how you get the win, but it sounded like we were bloody lucky.
We had a little bit of fortune. Bournemouth did create a few good chances. I'll come on camera while we're talking about this game, and for God's sake, I'm having a mare today. Anything that could go wrong is going wrong. But in all fairness, Chris, I think we were, you create your own looking football. Arsenal dominated the game a couple of weeks before, but we were unlucky not to come away with a point. No matter what you thought of the game, no matter what there was a lot, and I mean a lot, of relieved Arsenal fans that they managed to find 2 late goals in stoppage time. I thought we was unlucky against Crystal Palace. If Crystal Palace don't get that onside goal given to them, I don't think they find the momentum to try and push for us for a second.
Yes, yeah. Now, Luke is saying here, and I did have a conversation with him the other day. He wants Cooper to be sacked.
Luke is one of them. Now I know Luke doesn't like. He doesn't.
I did call him out. I did actually say that I would get him on a show with Kate, who I know can do during the day, and she's a very much a Cooper in, and he chickened out. So,
yeah, I mean, like I said, just quickly nipping off the point about our win. We might have been a bit fortunate, but as I've mentioned there in other games, we were unfortunate not to get wins. So football has its way of balancing it out. And look, you can't bemoan a win no matter how you get it. As for Luke saying we're taking us backwards big time, no, Luke. That wasn't me trying to do a bad Batman impression. Backwards, right? Let me just refresh your memory, Luke. Backwards was Leicester doing this with the football. If you're wondering, Brad, I can't see the line. Oh, that's because we haven't moved off our goal line. That's because it was Hamadson to Vestergaard to Hamadson to Vestergaard, Hamadson to Vestergaard to Justin. So sometimes we'd be adventurous, Chris. We'd give it to Faze. Sometimes we'd give it to Faze, but then we'd make 455 passes before we eventually went forward. At least with Cooper, we try and go forward. We try and counter and play at the back. Wasn't it isn't this coming from the same sort of people, Chris, that are moaning about Cooper? That last season when we were top of the championship, going, we need to go back to what won us the Premier League, trying to play counter-attacking football, and yet Cooper tries to play counter-attacking football, and it's wrong, and it's.
The
I
interesting
don't know.
thing,
Maybe I've just got. Maybe these people
Yeah.
have short-term memory loss, or just can. I'll never
I think
please.
we've got to accept that if we were playing under Enzo, whilst we'd have the advantage of continuity, and I think we've got to take that into account with Cooper, that he came in absolutely no continuity there whatsoever, and Enzo, he struggled when he first went into Chelsea. And the interesting thing, if you watch yesterday's show that I did with Matt Letitia, Russell Martin very much plays out from the back, like Enzo does. Now, how's that working out for Southampton, Brad?
Not very well, and it didn't work out for Burnley for the majority of the season that they played like it. In fact, you would argue their best form of the season came after they switched to it. Obviously, it was too little, too late, and they had too much to do to kind of stem the flow of the damage that had been done by it. And they've been stung by it already this season. Look, I'm all for a style of play. I'm all for a manager saying, look, this is the way I believe I can get the best out of the squad by trusting a thing that I've used before and it's worked before. But also, what makes a good manager, Chris, isn't just backing his formation stubbornly and going for it. It's kind of going, you know what? That didn't work. We shouldn't play that way against that opposition, because if we do that, the way they play, they will absolutely batter us off the field. You can do that against certain opposition. You can do that, maybe even, as silly as it sounds, against a Man City who might sit off you. But, you're not going to do it against a team that are fighting for lives, want the ball.
No. I mean, it would be nice to think that we'd still got Enzo, but I don't think I think we'd probably be worse off at this stage under Enzo. As much as I have been very critical of, and will always be critical of the team selection, but he's the manager. He stands and falls by it. But look, I don't think we'd be any better off under Enzo Ball.
You know what, mate? You've already answered the question. Would we be better? You saying we wouldn't be any better off under Enzo Ball, and that you've inadvertently already answered it. Where are we in a league playing a different style of football compared to Southampton playing our style of football from last season?
Yeah, exactly. So, like I say, just watch. Yes, it's on the LTID TV on YouTube. Matt Letitia, what a lovely man. He was on over an hour with me. Really nice guy, and he was very brutally honest about Southampton. Anyway, let's quickly. There's the table. Anyway, so that's the table. But moving on to this week.
Oh no, Chris. Who was that? Who was that wise granddad at the bottom of the table with all the strength? I didn't quite see that, folks. Did you? I didn't quite see that. I think we need to have a 30-second preview of the table. No. Come on. I get grassed up for not putting it up there. Come on, face the music. Be a man. There we go. There he is.
Right, can I say, I will keep using this excuse until May next year. I was away for a month because, yes, I got 6 points, but that was in the games that I was predicting 4 weeks prior. So if I'd been here, I might have actually got 12 points because I'd been able to see what form all the teams were in.
I mean, maybe, but looking at your form before the holiday, you might have also only got about 3 points.
But Spencer's doing well. He's got 11 correct results and 57 points. But Nate is up his backside, as is Craig. Surprisingly, not Paddy. And Brad, you're making a bit of a move up the table, aren't you?
Well, I told you. Yeah, I'm the tortoise in the hare, mate. I'm the tortoise in the hare. I can almost smell the rise of the 2-time Premier League champion going back for his crown. I'm on the surge. Watch me get 2 points this week now.
Yes, on the surge. Please turn your camera off if you're going to do that.
Oh, I've done it. Amazon.
I
Sorry.
went to a party once, and I
Just
went
one.
just one party, and I had my wife on the back, and somebody said, "What have you come at?" Because it was fancy dress. I said, "I've come as a turtle." He said, "Well, who's that on your back?" I said, "That's Michelle."
Oh, I knew where you was going, and it was painful, but I couldn't stop it. Oh God.
You see, I bet you didn't have jokes like this while I was away.
No, sadly, gratefully, we didn't.
Yeah, Luke is off to bed. But hey, have a good one, Luke. Talk to you soon, and thanks a lot for what you did. And yeah, Doug, thank you so very much. Congratulations to me. Thank you. I didn't really have much to do with it, really, did I? I was away in holiday, came back, and I'm a granddad. And you see, Tom said. Brilliant, Chris. What can I say? I like the cut of that man's jib. But there's the table. It's still actually, I mean, to say we're only 8 games in, it's still actually quite open, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's quite an easy gap to bridge. I mean, Spencer is top, but he has been holding on to that by the skin of his teeth. He was in the average of points this week, but the week before, Chris, he had a stinker, and that's all it takes.
Yes.
I think that the week before that he only got 3 points, and that allowed the likes of Nate, Craig, and Kate to really catch up to him, and probably even all the way down to about John is still within earshot. Anyone from Doug down below is probably out that early doors title race, but it just shows one good week, one bad week could flip the table on its head. I mean, Chris might need several people not to compete this week to catch up, but anyone above Wayne onwards could catch up to the rest of us.
Can I just say, next week I'm going to go in and delete everybody's predictions so they all get no points.
Oh, you're not a petty man, are you, Chris?
Not at all, not at all. Right, let's get on with these predictions then. And look at this week's games. There we go. Look at this. I see. I don't waste my days, do I?
You don't. You really don't.
First game. Spurs, who had that horrendous result last week, at home to West Ham. West Ham won 2, drawn 2, lost 3. They're sat in 12th. We've got Spurs done just above them, 9th, but they've won 3, drawn 1, lost 3 with 10 points. And if you're looking at form, overall form, home and away, Spurs are 7th, and West Ham are not. I can't find them at the moment. They're 8th. How do you see this one going, Brad?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because, okay, it didn't happen the way I thought it would, but it does seem like West Ham have settled down a bit. They had a lot of flux of players, didn't they? Obviously, they replaced Moyes wisely, unwisely. I'm sure we'll find out come May whether it's been a wise enough decision. But they've just seemed to have found that balance. I think, when they, they got the players in, they haven't got the results they wanted, but that big win against Ipswich, because that could have been another setback for them, and there was pressure already going on Lopetegui. Look, it's always a good game when these two meet. The problem is Spurs are Spursy. Now, as you know, Chris, I write down my predictions, one of the predictions from the group, and then I wait for yourselves. I'm going to let you go first because I want to see if you make this a full house, because this game is a tough one.
You wouldn't be hoping that I have my mate Desmond come in the door, do you?
I mean, I'm not saying that you should go for it, and I'm not imploring that you would, but the Desmond count has gone a bit lonely over this past few these game weeks. So if you could top it up, I would be appreciated.
Well, I can tell you I'm not going to top it up. So I am going to go, and I think Tottenham will come back this week. I think Postolek, whatever he's called, I can never pronounce his name, Ange will really have laid into them this week. Because a lot rides on him, because he always says, like, well, second year everywhere I've won something, but I've actually gone for a 2-1 Spurs.
You've gone for a 2-1 Spurs. Well, I can tell you, Chris, there is a Desmond in the mix. There is a Desmond in the mix from me and Anthony, who is our special person and our special guest.
So hang on a second, hang on. You've gone for a Desmond.
No.
Before I have gone for a Desmond. I'm making a note of that. So
No. I tell you what, you can scratch that note because you're getting well ahead of yourself. You've gone to Australia and you suffer from premature celebration because I said there was a Desmond in the mix. I never said it was me though, did I? I said there was just someone has gone for a Desmond. And Mr. excitably rushed into decision making. That Desmond was predicted not by me, but by Anthony.
Yeah, you said Anthony and you.
I said one of us has gone for a Desmond, and you just jumped to the fact that I'd gone for a Desmond.
I thought you'd both gone for a Desmond.
See, open these, Chris. Open these. I can tell you who went for a Desmond. It was Anthony. However, I did go for a draw, but I've gone 1-1.
Okay. So,
speak of the devil, and he appears, doesn't he, Chris?
Yes, he is. Cheers, Anthony. Yeah, he was a gentleman. Tom has gone Tottenham 4, West Ham 1. Whoa. And Doug, I'm presuming Doug's put it in the same prediction that he's put into you for the actual competition. He's agreed with me. He's gone 2-1 to Spurs. So there we go. Most of us going for the Spurs win. But then again, what do we know? Doug, I've got to say, Doug, you walked it last year.
See, what did I say to you, Chris, when you was giving it the bigging about Doug, saying how well he's doing? I said championships for the little children to play. We Premier League winners, we don't care about that. we don't care about the championship. When he comes up to the big boy leagues, he just hasn't got the knack for it. Admittedly, probably predicting stuff like Southampton to draw with Arsenal. I'm not saying he did, but he has been making his wild predictions that paid off from the championship. Unfortunately, Doug, this league's a lot more predictable than the championship.
Yeah. So 2 more gone for Tottenham. Ben's gone Tottenham 2, West Ham 1, and Anthony has gone Tottenham 3. I presume that's 3-2 to West Ham. So most of us there going for a Spurs win.
I was going to say, an Arsenal boy going for a Tottenham win, he must be ill.
I know. What can we say? Right, next up, we have Fulham versus Aston Villa. Now, Fulham last week. Let's have a look what they did. Where are they in the mix of things? They are actually, based on the last 4 games, they are actually the 6th form team, and obviously they lost to Man City 3-2. Like I said, I didn't see the game. I don't know, but it sounds an exciting one. And I think if you go, if you can get that close to Man City, I'd be taking that. And they're up against Villa, who are obviously in the Champions League this season, who are in 4th place in the form table. They beat Everton 3-2. They beat Wolves 3-1 because they'd only draw with Ipswich, which was a surprise. Good result for Ipswich. And they drew with Manchester City 0-0.
Yeah, and this is going to be a difficult game for Villa. They were awful in front of goal. Against Manchester United, it was a game that maybe not so much recently, but especially this season so far, and maybe even last season, you would have fancied Villa's chances to have won the game. But both teams were poor in front of goal. They could still be playing now, as you would say, Chris. And I don't think either side would have scored. So a little bit concerned up front. I've been impressed with Fulham. I said when we reviewed transfers, Chris, didn't we? I think we did a show where we reviewed sort of each team, their transfer activity. I said dark horse Fulham. I think they're going to be a good shout to sneak into some form of European football this season. What level that is, we'll find out. But I do think they'll get it, Chris. You know, Emil Smith Rowe is a great snag from Arsenal if they can keep him fit. Iwobi obviously came from Everton, scored the winner against us, annoyingly. They're doing well, Chris. And I don't think this will be too much of a shock. Maybe a shock because of the expectation that's on Aston Villa. But I've actually gone Fulham 2, Aston Villa 1.
Ooh, interesting. I've been impressed with Fulham. I was very impressed with the way that they basically demolished us, but they did make us look like the promoted team. You know, they've been up there a few seasons now. The manager's settled. He knows what he wants. You know, unlike Ipswich, he didn't bring in 500 odd players. You know, just strengthened where he needed to. I have also gone 2-1, but for Villa.
Well, you're going to be very sad when I tell you this. You've agreed with Anthony.
No! Can I change?
No, I'm afraid not. That's not how it works, I'm afraid.
Yes, it is. It's my show. I can do what I want.
It's my party and I'll cry if I want to.
Yes, I'll take my ball away. Don't be rude. Don't be rude. So, yeah, I've gone 2-1. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Let's have a look. Ben's gone Villa 2, a 2-0 win for Villa. Tom said it's very difficult to call a bigger game for Villa than Fulham with their season. It's so dependent on who gains early. All of that, and he's not put a prediction in. 2-1 to Villa, says Anthony. And he's got 2-1 Villa. Fulham's score comes first. So Anthony may well have gone Fulham 2, Villa 1 there. I don't know. Please,
it doesn't make sense, does it?
If you're putting these scores in, can you put like Fulham 2, Villa 1, or just otherwise? I've no idea what you're saying, and I'm guessing. He did in the end. Tom did make a decision, but it was to sit on the fence, and he's gone 2-2. And as indeed has LCFC. He's gone 2-2 as well. And Douglas has gone Fulham 2, Aston Villa 1. Now, third game up here for everybody. Ipswich hosting Everton. What a basement game this is. Ipswich 16th in the form table. Everton, in fairness, are 9th. But when you look at the actual table itself, Everton 16th, one place behind us on goal difference. Fulham 1. Aston Villa 2, apparently, yeah. Ipswich are one place below them in 17th. Everton have got a win. That was the last time out. I'm not sure who that was against. I can tell you, though, Everton beat Crystal Palace, who are having an awful season. Ipswich, 4 draws, 3 losses. To my mind, this has got a last on match of the day written all over it.
Yeah, it has. And you could say you read my mind, Chris, because I don't know if I've gone for this out of sheer hope more than anything, but they are the draw specialists of the season, Ipswich. Very difficult to beat, and until they played West Ham, they hadn't really been battered, shall I say? I know it's only by 3 goals, but 4-1 it's a weird, isn't it? It's seen more as a battering than 3-0, isn't it? In a weird way.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know what was going through Eddie Howe's mind, allowing a man who's hated at Everton to take the penalty for Newcastle. I don't know why you would do that, because if anyone's going to know how he takes a penalty, it's him. Everton, when they played Newcastle. But a very good point for them at St James's Park before the international break. I already feel like I've let my heart rule my head on this one, because I think the perfect result for Leicester, assuming we go on and win our game, is a draw. And I agree. I think it's going to be last on match of the day. I've gone 0-0.
Oh, well, guess what? I've agreed with you again, but I've gone 1-1. I think Ipswich.
They'll let you win one day.
Yeah, Ipswich drawn 4 games more than anybody else. They've scored 6 goals, but they've conceded 14. They're on -8 points. And again, this season, those big scores could mean the difference between staying up and going down. When you look, say, well, we lost to Arsenal, but we only lost by 2 goals.
Yeah.
We didn't get pummeled. And, when you look at Wolves -12 already, Southampton -11, Ipswich and Everton both -8. We're on -3. Like I said, that could be the difference. I just think Ipswich have bought too many players.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to have the Luton effect of this season. They're going to really go at teams. They're really going to give an effort. They're never going to shirk a responsibility in the game, no matter who it is. They're ultimately going to come up short. And I hate to say it because I like to see teams like that stay up. I really wanted Luton to stay up last season. And, Wolves, Southampton and Everton make up the bottom 3. I'm not going to cry about it. That's for damn sure. But I do feel like this is they've had to bring in loads of players as well, Chris, because as much as you love the fairy tale, a lot of their players that helped get them promoted last season from the Championship weren't just from League One, Chris. They were from League Two. They were players they got in from League Two, League One. And yes, they've had to add the quality. And unfortunately, Chris, sometimes that's just not enough to keep you in the division.
I know what you're saying, but what Ipswich had was what Leicester used to have, that band of brothers. And I just think you can add to it without. I mean, how many players did they buy in the end? Was it 8, 9 or something like that? I mean, Forest had to. When Forest came up, Forest had to because most of their squad were on loan, so they had to go out and buy all those players. Ipswich didn't. And if you're an Ipswich player and thinking, well, I've made it all the way here and I'm not being given a chance in the Premier League, I just think it's going to come back and bite him on the bum. I really do. But what did Anthony go for with this one?
Well, Anthony would have shocked us all. And in fact, this is the only prediction of Anthony's I feel that I like this week. This is very rare to say, because he's gone for an Ipswich win, which, again, providing we win, still isn't a bad result.
No.
Either way. Although, having said that, if you're asking me who I feel has got the more chance to sort of stay up, who benefits from the win, I feel like probably Ipswich are the team, because you still feel like they won't do enough to stay up, and Ipswich, and Everton being bogged down, because there's going to be a team like that we need to be ahead of. So,
yeah,
I mean, we've gone 2-1 to Ipswich. Again, as long as we do our job, Chris, that's ultimately
that's it.
Result. But yeah.
Well, Tommy has gone Ipswich 0, Everton 1. Ben has gone for a Desmond, Ipswich 2, Everton 2. Doug's gone for an Ipswich win, 2-1. Tom has gone for another. He's gone for a Desmond as well. No, he's gone, 3-2. He thinks it'll be an absolute goal fest there. LCFC's gone 1-1. And same as myself. And Anthony has gone Ipswich 0, Everton 0, which I think we just said, didn't we? On that. Right.
No, he's gone 2-1. So he's given different predictions here than he is in the thing.
Oh, Anthony, come on, mate! Don't confuse us. I'm not going to read Anthony's out now because he's all over the place. So Man United, Brentford, 30 seconds. It could be all over. Bit like my sex life, but there we go. So you got Man United, who do like to concede early. So Rich, it was from Rich Sports, Man United fan. He was saying that you should be happy being only 2 points behind Man United. And I said, well, I would have been if Man United had been up in 5th or 6th, but they're not. They are in trouble, Man United. And they're hosting the Brentford side. I mean, Man United are in 14th, like I say, 2 points ahead of us. Brentford won 3, lost 3, drawn 1, 10 points. In the old form table, Man United are 11th, but Brentford are 15th. So who knows? What way are you going for on this one?
I'm probably going to regret this decision, but it is hilarious. Just seeing Manchester United things. I mean, who would have thought they'd regret? You know, their seasons have been so bad, Chris. They're probably doing a West Ham and regretting sacking David Moyes. It's gone that horrible for them since Fergie retired. I don't know. Look, long may it continue. Give him a 10-year contract. Pay whatever he wants. As Rio Ferdinand once said, because it's things you love to see, isn't it, Chris? Manchester United crying and failing at football. I feel like this is the game that everybody tries to play it safe. They'd rather nobody get points because most people will go Man U than be brave and risk not getting a point or two on it. Because I've gone for a 1-0 win for Brentford.
Ooh, so you have been brave.
I have. Stupid or brave, but I'm in one of them. Until the game's played out, I won't know which way I was.
No. Well, I've been brave as well because I've gone Man United 1, Brentford 2.
Oh, well, and Anthony, being since he can't remember and make up his mind in the chat, I will just tell you his. He's gone for a 1-1 draw.
Right. Let's have a look what everybody else has gone for. I think that's about the last game. Tommy has gone 2-1. He agrees with me. 2-1 to Brentford. Tom has gone 2-0 to Brentford. Doug has gone 3-2 to Manchester United. Melina's in. Hello, Melina. How are you? Are you getting Canada ready for me? I don't know if I can afford it now. I'm a granddad. Ben has gone Man United 3, Brentford 2. So a couple of 3-2s there, but I think we could be on countdown for Ten Hag here.
I mean, yeah. Personally, keep him until we play them in the cup and in the league, and then sack him afterwards. By all means, go for him. Let him have the failures while he's there, and all what it is. But
we like to sack managers, don't we, Leicester?
We do, and they usually play for it. They usually manage a team in blue. Funny enough, when they get the sack. So I don't know. Maybe we can sort that out. Get a deal and sack someone in red for a change. Be nice. Yeah.
LCFC's gone 2-1 Man United. Melina says, congratulations on a granddad, Chris. So happy for you. Thank you so very much, Mel. Thank you very much indeed. Appreciate it. Newcastle couldn't get past Brighton with a dodgy penalty. Couldn't get past, who was it? They play Everton with a dodgy penalty. They're hosting Brighton, Brad. Yeah,
and it's weird, isn't it? Just when I thought, maybe the wheels are falling off at Brighton, they go and play Tottenham. Dr. Tottenham would see them now just to make sure they get over their 24-hour dip in form. This is going to be a good game. I really think it's going to be a good game. And I think it's going to be one of them games where you look at the full-time score and it won't reflect just how good the game was. And how close it was, because I've actually gone for Newcastle to sort it out, as some fans might say. I've gone Newcastle 3, Brighton 1.
Now, Brighton are 12th in the form table. They could only draw with Ipswich 0-0, and those are games that you should be winning against promoted teams. They drew with Forest. They lost to Chelsea, but they beat Tottenham. Now, Newcastle are in 16th 14th in the form table. They beat Wolves. They lost to Fulham. They drew with Man City, and as we just said, they drew with Everton. I think the wheels are starting to come off at Newcastle. Amanda Staveley has sold out, and she's moved on. There's some discontent there with the board members and what have you. I think this is going to be a really hard season for Newcastle. And I've actually gone... what did you go for, Brad? So you went for a Newcastle win, didn't you?
I did indeed. I went 3-1 to Newcastle.
Right. Well, I've gone 2-1, but I've gone in favour of Brighton.
Well, you'll be happy to know that you've not just gone in opposite to me, but you've gone in opposite to Anthony. Anthony went 3-2 to Brighton.
Yes.
Although we are both higher up in the league
Oh,
than you.
3-2 to Brighton or 3-2 to Newcastle?
3-2 to Newcastle, sorry.
Right. Yes. Yeah. No, that's fine. Let's have a look what people are saying in the thing. Here we go. Newcastle 3, Brighton 2, like you say. Tommy, has gone 2-3 to Brighton the other way, as has LCFC. Tom has gone to Canada. Reading that. From one down to another, congrats. Thank you, Doug. He then went 2-2. He's gone for his first Desmond of the evening. Newcastle 1, Brighton 0, says Tom. Anthony, thank you very much indeed, sir. Appreciate it. Now, those of us that know this show and know what are regular watchers of it, the next game is Southampton versus Leicester. But you don't want to know that. We're not going to do that one now, are we, Brad?
No, of course not. What sort of Leicester City channel would we be if we gave the people what they wanted straight away?
Exactly. So we're going to jump on to Bournemouth playing Arsenal. Arsenal, who are second in the form table, won 3, drawn 1 of their last 4 games. They beat Tottenham 1-0, drew in Manchester City, which I think was a good result for Arsenal, to be honest with you. They beat Leicester 4-2, made hard work of it, though, like we said, and beat Southampton 3-1. Maybe made a bit hard work of that one as well. Bournemouth, meanwhile, funny season for Bournemouth. They're up there, but they're 17th at the moment in the form table. They lost to Chelsea, lost to Liverpool, beat Southampton. They beat Southampton 3-1, then went on to lose to us 1-0. Now, I know it was close, and we had the woodwork and Mads to thank for the victory, but again, Bournemouth should be looking to beat us. We're a newly promoted side that just beat Southampton. That was a surprise.
I don't think it was though, Chris, because I feel like I'm going to blow our own trumpet here, and not in that euphemism either. But I feel like for the first time, wait, no, give me a second. I think. I mean, no, I know, I get it. And you've got
come on, I jest, sir.
I know, but I do feel like for the first time in a long time, probably since the Newcastle yo-yo period where they were down, they were deemed too good to stay in the Championship and not quite good enough despite their squad to stay in the Premier League. I feel like Leicester are the first team since then, probably, that teams look at and go, there might be a newly promoted side, but it ain't like it's not been a while since they've been around this area. Leicester, it's a season now. We've actually done reasonably well to keep hold of some major talents that could have easily walked into at least 14 out of the 20 Premier League sides. And Didi, who Kate now loves and adores, we all know.
She didn't rise.
I know she didn't, but I reckon that was a pseudo name, mate. We all know these journalists do it these days.
I had to tag Kate in that, I think.
I know. After our loving exchanging of words about him. But no, like Ndidi, it wasn't my personal cup of tea, but even Winks having Premier League caliber, although he's not played this season, I don't even think he has come on at substitute. But Ricardo, who's a surprise admission, I have to admit, from Cooper's team, but still, you know what I mean, Chris? I think we've got one of the stronger teams to be a newly promoted side, and I still feel like Bournemouth have progressed to a point to like being a comfortable 15th, 14th, 16th sort of side. They've staled out, which isn't anything against them. That's financial, that's their income, that's their broadness of popularity, unfortunately for them, that's kind of stopping them being any higher. And unfortunately, it happens to a handful of teams in this division. So I don't think it was ultimately a surprise that they lost to us. They'll probably feel aggrieved in the way they played in that game, but for the majority of it, Chris, we actually played really well in seeing it out. Okoli and FaZe looked like a great partnership. For an unhappy, miserable bloke that the Belgian paper says wants to execute everybody in Leicester, Faye's played really well for us.
And again, that's one of those things where, like I say, I was in Australia. Did I tell you I'd been to Australia? But yeah, I was in Australia. So I'm looking at the stats, and maybe it doesn't give me the full, thing of the game. But they're up against Arsenal, who probably, if they don't win it this season, you could argue they may never win it. I hope they win it because I'm just fucking fed up with Man. Sorry if there's any Man City fans in, but I'm bloody fed up with it. It's like Scottish table at the moment. What have you gone for on this one, Brad?
I think this will be tough for Arsenal because what I did see from Bournemouth in the few games I've watched them, I watched the Newcastle game where they were robbed. Obviously, I watched our game because I was the best watch along host for the Leicester City sides this week. I was waving that flag for the Leicester March. Love you too, Chris. Love you too. No, they love you really, Chris. They were saying get off the stage. I said I can't. Chris is in Australia. But no, I think Bournemouth will cause them problems. I think to a degree, teams may look at how we went about things in that second half and say, look, Arsenal, you can get at them. That you can get them worried. I have ultimately though gone for an Arsenal win, but it's close, Chris. I've gone Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 2.
Wow. After all that pumping up Bournemouth, you go for the Arsenal win.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's some people may have gone for a bit of a pumping there, haven't they? Maybe gone for a 4-0 win.
I'll be honest with you. I have got a pump in this in the quote in the prediction this week, but this isn't my pump. I've actually gone for an Arsenal win, but I don't think it's going to be massive. I've gone 2-0 to Arsenal.
You see, at least when I big Bournemouth up, I give him the respect of a goal. Look at this one. Saint Bournemouth Christopher III, they call him, and he goes and does that to him.
Why should I do Bournemouth up?
Oh, you love the Bournemouth. You live there. You've gone to games there, you Judas. Oh, I tell you. I mean, no shocks horror in Anthony's prediction, being as he supports teams that play in red and white, it must appear. But he's actually gone correct this time with his own prediction. He has gone 3-1 to Arsenal.
It was quite funny yesterday. I don't know whether Anthony was in at the time, but I brought some. He was asking some questions, and I brought them up. And I did say that I said Anthony's 3 teams are Arsenal, Bristol City, and Southampton. And I think Matt actually believed me, but he has gone 3-1. Tom's gone 3-0 to Arsenal. On that, and then Tommy has gone 3-1, so he's agreed with the Arsenal fan, as indeed has Douglas. He's gone 3-1 as well. LCFC, well, again, I like the cut of that man's jib. He's gone 2-0 to Arsenal. And Paddy, he's finally got his hand out the cow's arse. He's back from Paris, and he didn't put a prediction in. So welcome back, Patrick. He's been over in Paris. I wouldn't go to Paris. I'd be buggered if I went to Gay Paris. Anyway, LCFC, they don't have any actual fans. You're not offending anyone. All good. Arsenal got a few injuries.
Is that Excuse FM turning up there?
I got a reply off Kev. Apparently, he only gets internet access 2 hours a week. So I did get a reply saying that they're shut till the 25th. And he's gone for a Desmond. He's in. He gets in and he's immediately gone for a Desmond. And Jesse's in. Hi, Jesse. How are you? He says, "Welcome back, Chris." I say, "I'm your man, Jess. I'm your man."
All right. I tell you what, I might as well just disappear then. See you later, folks.
See ya. So, Jess, how are you doing? Nice to see you. To see you, nice. So we get him back in? I guess we better. Right, okay. Wolves, Manchester City. Now, can I start this by saying,
no.
I don't know who does the predictions for Sky Sports, but they've actually gone for a Wolves win.
Carragher's been at the source again, hasn't he? I think it's Carragher. I know they have a pundit they have like a member of staff, and it's Carragher. So this member of staff must be. It might be my dad. He might have just emailed him in and said, "Please just go for Wolves," because that's the biggest shock of the week, and he's not even on the
Yes.
show.
Yes. I don't know. I don't know. I was looking before. Anyway, he's gone. I think it was 2-1 to Wolves.
You know what? I can check for you, Chris, because I know it's Carragher, and no, I can't because my phone doesn't react. But if it's Carragher, then he needs to lay off the sauce.
Yeah. I'll go first with this one because I have gone for a pump in this game. I think Wolves are looking bad. Whether they stick with Gary O'Neill or not, I don't know. But I do. I feel. I mean, the bottom of the form table. They've not won in 4. Lost to Newcastle. Lost to Villa. Lost to Liverpool. Lost to Brentford. They're scoring goals. I mean, it was 2-1, 3-1, 2-1, 5-3, but they're conceding them as well. And when you look at the table, that's the worrying thing for Wolves. They're minus 12 after 7 games. And where is that win going to come from? All right, I think we had a very decent opening fixtures. Yeah, all right, we had Spurs, but Spurs are Spurs. We can get something, and we did. Yes, we had Arsenal, but we pushed them all the way. Fulham, that was a surprise. But, the teams we played, I would not have been wanting to play Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea at the start, But Wolves, as they are rock bottom. Man City, look, they're second, 1 point behind Liverpool. They've drawn 2. This is only going to go one way. I mean, I've gone 4-0 to Man City, Brad.
Well, all the doors have gone for 4s in this case. Anthony's gone Wolves 1, Arsenal, Man City 4. I mean, you have agreed for once, Chris. Because I've gone for. Hey, no, that should be good for you, Chris. I mean, it might mean you won't catch me, but at least you might get some points this week.
Actually, in fairness, yes, I take that back. I was about to say I'd sooner agree with Anthony, but you're higher up the table than him.
See.
I can't see Wolves getting anything here.
I can't. And look, yes, they played the hard teams out the way, but the worrying sign is, Chris, 2 years ago when we were getting battered in the season, and yes, we were giving good games, but still losing to teams around us. But we were getting slaughtered by Tottenham. We got slaughtered by Brighton, who at that time were on the rise up, trying to challenge for Europe. I think at that stage, that season, they may have got up there with De Zerbi. The worrying thing is, Chris, is the psychological damage it's done to them.
Yeah.
Because they go to Brentford, and like I say, Chris, there's not many fans that go to an away game, and if you tell them before kickoff you're going to score 3 goals, they go, "Oh, well, we'll still lose." You're not thinking of a loss. You're thinking, "Yes, this is the game where we settle down, we get the win, we pick ourselves up," and that goes to lose 5-3. It's only entertaining for Brentford fans. Well, for the other 19 clubs, really. It's not entertaining being a Wolves fan.
When we did our great escape, at least we got a couple of decent results in there.
We never got battered that season, did we, Chris?
No. But I mean, we'd got the Man United 5-3, obviously. But there was that. We'd got that on the board, and like Steve Cooper said, a win's a win, and whether we win dirty or clean, however, we won. We got 3 points. It's off our back now. We're up and running. The first of the 3 teams that came up to get the win. I got Wolves finishing 18th, and I think I'm being generous there now.
I think you are too, and it's only good to get the R teams out of the way. When you play the teams like your Brentfords and the teams they've played in between, you're picking up results, and they just haven't done that, Chris. That's the more concerning thing. Now, a few seasons ago, I think it was actually the season we actually were in that relegation as well, Wolves sacked a manager and replaced him, and then I think it was Lopetegui, actually, the West Ham manager. He came in and projected them up. They'd gone on a worse streak than there are in now. Will it work second time around if they do it? You won't know. Will they do a Leicester and leave it too late in hopes that Gary O'Neill can turn this around and keep them up? Time will tell. But right now, Chris, to give Donald Trump a mention in here, sadly I have to, but stop the count if you're a Leicester fan, because you want, and it's horrible to say it, especially because my dad's a Wolves fan and he'll be in a bad mood. He's on holiday at the moment, so I don't think he'll care too much about football. But in fact, he'd be glad to be away from it in the lovely sun when he's watching it, because you say they're a -12, Chris. They could be -20. This could be 8-0. This could be 8-0. This could be a game where nobody gets more than a point from this game because the scoreline could get so ridiculous.
Yes. No, I agree. I mean, look, it's football. It could, it could surprise us, but I can't see it happening. And I think we have got, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but we have got a third international break coming up in November. And I think then we will see a couple of these teams. Russell Martin could be one at Southampton. Wolves, I think Gary Neal at Wolves. I think Burley will stay at Ipswich, whatever, to be honest with you. Ten Hag, because, they've got a couple of weeks to try and get somebody in. But I tell you what, I honestly think all those clubs now are looking at perspectives.
I would not be surprised, especially Wolves, probably looking at who didn't get offered the England job. That's an hour. You did a talking point show on that yesterday, but there is still going to be some managers that maybe felt like, I don't know, a certain one we looked at that ummed and armed and not hoped out for a job that he didn't get in the end. Potter, that they may want to go for. But it's also difficult, isn't it, Chris? Because if they go and get, he'll always then turn around and argue. You could argue that, oh, well, it's Man City now. We look at our run ahead. Give me that games, and if I don't turn it around, fair enough. I take me sacking, go quietly, as I say. I mean, for me, Chris, the biggest manager who must be really worried about his job, because, like I said, O'Neill could say Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal. What are you expecting here? And Aston Villa, you could chuck in that mix. So, give me a run of fixtures to sort it out. Maybe the most worrying manager is Chris, and I'm going to give you a clue as to which manager it is. We've beat them 5-0, 4-0, 9-0.
It wouldn't be Southampton by any chance, would it?
Our survey says, ding, 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 ding. I reckon, Chris, honestly, Chris, if we, and again, I'm getting ahead of myself here, but if Leicester were, and if she's still in the chat, Jessie, we've been joking around. She said, sorry, Southampton are that bad, we're going to break the record and win 10-0. If they take a battering off us, I can see him sacked after that game. I think that's the only way Gary O'Neill doesn't get sacked first if both teams have a bad result this weekend, Chris.
No, you could be totally right. What did Anthony go for on this one?
Oh, Anthony loves his team in Man City. He went 4-1.
Really? Wow. I think that is being we've gone 4-0, haven't we? I don't know if I can see them scoring, to be honest with you.
Maybe an own goal, just for sympathy. I don't know.
Yeah. Right, let's have a look at what people have been saying in the chat. Let's see how far we go back.
You can tell
Tommy has gone 3-0 Man City. Anthony, like you say, has gone 4-1. 10-0, says Jessie.
She's gone 10-0, yeah. She can see that happening. I don't blame her. That could be
Wolves, you should get her in the prediction league. I like these scores she's coming up with. That make me look better. Wolves 0, Manchester City 6, says Tom. The Dog has gone at 3-0 to Man City. No, real answer, she's gone 3-0. I shouldn't have put that up. I should have just left the 10-0 there.
No, Jesse, stick with your 10-0. Why not?
If it's 10-0 now and we lose our record, we'll all be... do a few teams for 4 or 5 or 6 goals. Excuse the sausage fingers, which are accidentally splitting my messages. Well, whatever. Yeah. Wolves 1, Man City 3, says LCFC. Wolves Wooden Spoon form is doing us a massive favour. Cooper in. Yes, Chris Matt did believe you. I think he did actually. 4-1 has gone as Wayne has gone to Manchester City. 0-8 says Patrick.
Might be 1 point, could be 10 points. He's still below me, Anthony. He just gets angry and upset when I'm ahead of him.
Honestly, I'm debating more if it's going to be 7-0 rather than 6-0. But anyway, Ben's gone 6-1 Man City. LCFC says Haaland bags a triple hat-trick. Wolves are woeful, says LCFC. Predator Gaming is in. Hello, Lai, mate. How you doing? He's gone 12-0 to Wolves. I think he likes Man City. 10-1. You can never say a woman doesn't change her mind. She's covering all the options here. That 10-1, by the way, that's to Wolves, just in case. Liverpool-Chelsea. Now, we mentioned this earlier, but if you are not doing anything Monday night, and who would be, why would you do anything when you can watch us on here? Do check this out, the Premier League Weekend Review. We're going to be looking at all the weekend games. It's like a match of the day on the channel, but we will be concentrating on 2 games, obviously Southampton-Leicester, and Tom will be keeping an eye on this game that we're about to look at, which is Liverpool-Chelsea. That's Monday night at 7. Well, this could be interesting, couldn't it? I mean, Liverpool, Jurgen who? Yeah, they're doing rather well. I don't know, did they actually make any purchases in the window? They're doing well. They're only 3rd in the form table. They lost to Forest, which seems to be something that Liverpool do very, very often. Chelsea are top of the form table, being beaten Bournemouth 1-0, West Ham 3-0, Brighton 4-2. Again, they only drew with Nottingham Forest 1-1. What is it with Forest getting some of these good results? But Liverpool are top on 18. Chelsea, they've drawn 2, and that's what's cost them on 14th in 4th. This is going to be a tight one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a good game. After the Leicester game, it's probably going to be the best game to watch as a neutral's point of view. Because obviously we're going to smash Southampton 10-0, 10-1, whatever Jess says. Apparently we're going to go breaking records. So after you watch that thrilling game, I reckon this is going to be end-to-end. I think both teams going to have lots of chances. Look, Liverpool have probably actually done themselves a favour by not making too many transfers. Because, as a wise Italian once did, in deciding not to rock the boat too much, it can benefit you in keeping the squad together and getting the players on side, because there wasn't really a lot known about Arnie before he took over here, apart from the fact that he'll be back.
You beat me to that.
I'm sorry, guys. Working with Chris does this to you.
He is old, not obsolete.
But I think this will be a good game, and this is Liverpool's. You probably say it's Liverpool's first real big test, isn't it, under the new Arnie Slot regime? Having said all that, I just don't like Chelsea. They're a rich man's Leicester because of how many players they steal off us. There's lots of people in the Chelsea witch hunt, in my opinion, and the only thing that stopped me going about 10-0 to Liverpool was the fact that I actually want to win this predictions league for my own pride. But I've gone 3-1 Liverpool.
Right. Anthony has gone for a Desmond. Has he had a couple of Desmonds this week, Anthony?
Yes, he has. He's got literally a couple. Couple of Desmonds.
A couple of Desmonds. He's gone 2-2. I think this will be very interesting. I haven't gone for a Desmond this week, have I?
I'm not saying.
I have not gone for a Desmond this week. And I'm not going to go for a Desmond for this game either.
Oh, give the people what they want, Chris. Come on.
So if this is a Desmond now, I'll be killing myself. I've actually gone. giving people what they want. I'll go back to Australia. If you sometimes look at these games, like when it comes to the FA Cup, and it's like, say, Liverpool to Chelsea, think, it's going to be the best FA Cup for years, and then it peters out and it doesn't live up to the expectations. That could be this game, to be honest with you. I'm actually gone for a 0-0.
Oh, your predictions are about as boring as the score you've gone for. 0-0. I, you know what, Anthony? Just for you, mate. I hope it's 2-2. I hope it's 2-2.
Oh, you're bitter. You're bitter.
No, I hope it's 2-2, and I can hear the screams of Chris going, "Why?" when he sees the score. Yeah, it'll be the only point that Anthony's allowed to have.
Anyway, Tommy has gone 2-1 to Liverpool. Predator has gone. He's not gone anywhere because I've just pressed the wrong button. Where are we? I don't know if I. Yeah, he's gone. So Tommy's gone 2-1. Doug has gone 3-1 to Liverpool. No surprise there, being a Liverpool fan. Let's just have a look. LCFC can see it being 1-1. Arnie has slotted into the Liverpool job very well. God, Doug. There we go. Jesse's gone 2-1 to Liverpool. Hopefully 1-1 until injury time, so Chelsea lose last minute. Again, not bitter, Jess, are you? Remind me not to upset you. I'm going to be torn. I'm going to lean towards 2-4 Chelsea. Wow, that's going to be a goal fest. But as indeed has Ben. He's gone 4-3 Liverpool. Let's have a look if we've got any more in here. Chelsea 2-1, says Predator. Paddy's gone 3-2 to Liverpool. And everybody else is just laughing. Right, I think this one's Monday night, if I am very much not mistaken. Yes, it is. Nottingham Forest, or I like to call them Notts Forest because they hate that. Notts Forest are hosting Crystal Palace. Palace have had an awful start to the season. Again, they're one of the 4 teams that have yet to win a game. But they've drawn 3, lost 4, scored 5, conceded 10. Forest, in fairness, I had them in 20th, so it shows what I know about football. They're up there in 10th, 1-2, drawn 4, and on the form table, Nottingham Forest are nowhere to be seen. Palace are 18th in the form table, lost to Liverpool and Everton, so they'll be glad to see the back of Merseyside. And Nottingham Forest are 10th in the form table. How do you see this one going, Brad? Is this going to be Palace's first win?
I'm not saying. Don't make me say it, Chris. Leicester fans in the chat, Jesse, everybody, cover your ears. Just pretend you're not about to hear what I'm about to say here. I'm going to say it quickly, quietly, just so only Chris can hear it. I'm going Nottingham Forest 2, Crystal Palace 0.
So you have gone 2-0 to Nottingham Forest.
No. I know, you're not angry, you're just disappointed in me.
No, not even that, because I've kind of gone the same. Not 2-0. I started this off with a 1-1, but I think it could be... Yeah, no, I'm going to agree with you. I think it could be 2-0.
Can I ask you a question, Chris?
Yes.
Was you about to originally go 2-1?
Yes.
Do you want some good news then?
What?
You stopped yourself agreeing with Anthony because he's gone 2-1.
He's gone 2-1. I mean, goals scored. They've got 5, Palace. So I had gone for 1-1, but then I thought, there can't be that many draws. Forest, in fairness, have only conceded 6. They scored 7. I mean, they've conceded less than Tottenham and Fulham and Newcastle and Brighton and Villa and Chelsea. So there's some good. They're not having a bad season, in fairness.
No, annoyingly, I can't do a Steve Linex on here. I mean, if I don't get any points and Palace win, I'll be happy either way, Chris. It's one of them, isn't it?
It's a win-win. It's a win-win, isn't it? Yeah. Right. So Anthony's gone 2-1 to Forest, like you said. Tommy's gone 2-0. LCFC's gone 3-1 to Forest. 2-0 to Crystal Palace, says Doug. Maybe that's why he's towards the bottom. Palace are shit. I just fell the way. Hang on, you're a game behind us here, Tom. Jesse says, don't know what's happened to Palace this season. Crazy. I had them finishing in the top half.
Well, the way they ended the season, Chris. I mean, what was it? 5 wins and a draw, undefeated in the last 6-7 games.
Yeah.
This is not. This is a fall from grace.
Yeah. How many teams can go down this? Just the 3 normally, obviously. Forest winning, we all hate it. Say 1-0 Forest. Jessie's gone 1-1. She's got comfortable on that fence. Forest 3-1. Says
you know what? I feel a lot better now.
Wayne says, "Go on, Brad. Let it out." All good. We all think the same. 1-0, says Patrick. 3-1 to Palace, though, says Ben. Forest are better away than they are at home. Wouldn't anyone love a manager with name Nuno Espirito Santo? No, I would not want him at all. Brad, would you?
No, I wouldn't. If you give me the choice between Cooper and him, I'm still picking Cooper.
Yeah. So we are down. We are going to go back, way back in time, and we're going to talk Southampton, Leicester after this.
Hello, Matt Elliott here.
Hi, Alan Smith here.
Hey guys, Ian Hume here.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here.
Be sure to watch
Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV
for all the latest Leicester City news and information.
You can also subscribe on YouTube and various social media channels
for the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Come on, you foxes!
Right. Southampton, Leicester, Brad.
Well, 9-0's out for the lads, isn't it? This one. The thing is, Chris, it's going to be weird because you look at Southampton's form and we've just found that first win of the season. And you kind of just want to get over the line again, don't you? You just want to give that little bit of momentum. The worst, people say, losing a game, it's the worst time for an international break because you dwell on it. Well, I think it's worse if you've got momentum because it can kill it. It gives teams a chance to regroup, refresh. I mean, it's stupid though, isn't it, Chris? Because as much as the big lot could argue, our staff would go away. If we did what the rugby did, we would lose the same caliber of star players to international duty as Man City would. It's just theirs are far more valuable on paper than ours, if you know what I mean. So we shouldn't have international breaks in the sport of football, but here we are. So I'd just take another solid performance. One thing I will say, if you're not gonna praise Cooper for his managerial style or his tactics, praise him for his staff because he sacked the set piece coach specialist and brought his own in from. I think he either worked with him. He's either the one that worked with him at Forest and was at Norwich, or he's a guy that worked with him at Forest and he's brought from Forest directly. But the set piece coach, Chris, the one that Brendan Rodgers had didn't know what he was doing, and the one that Cooper's brought in clearly does, because we haven't conceded from a corner, I don't think, or not directly from a corner yet this season. And we've scored, I believe, from 3 corners this season as well. So if there's anywhere we look good at, it's defending and attacking set pieces, which could be vital this season, Chris. It certainly stops us getting a thumping in a couple of games this season, being able to defend a lot of corners. Actually, fun fact, Chris, against Bournemouth, we didn't have a single corner to Bournemouth's 8. So that tells you how good we are at defending them, and we won't know how good we were at attacking them because we didn't have one. But having said that, I feel like we do need to have a more reassured win than we did against Bournemouth. And if there's a team that are going to be stubborn and play like they're in the Championship again, it's Southampton. I said it earlier, and I'm standing by it. If we beat these badly, Russell Martin is sacked. And I've gone for another clean sheet for the Foxes. I've gone Southampton 0, Leicester City 3.
3. Whoa.
Which I now realise earlier when talking with Jesse, I said 2-0, but I forgot I'd written this down beforehand. So I have to stick by it. I'm sticking with 3-0.
3-0.
Patson Daka 2.0, Edward scored a third.
Yeah. I've gone 9-0. Edward, Dakova Reed, and AU all getting hat tricks.
All right, well, I'll write the 9-0 in now then, Chris. The official prediction.
No. Now
I tell you what, if you can record this, get ready to clip it, Chris. If Leicester win 9-0, I will give everybody 3 bonus points.
I give everybody 3 bonus points, just me.
Everybody who says yes right now gets 3 bonus points. Yes. There you go. Yeah, there you go.
And you got to say it loud, not type it out. Look, I wanted Cooper. I'm sticking by Cooper for the time being. If we do not win this game, questions will need to be asked about Steve Cooper.
Yeah.
He's changing our style from the playing it out from the back, because we would have got absolutely stuffed doing that in this league. I mean, all right, you can say Enzo's doing it at Chelsea, but in fairness to Chelsea, they've got a better standard of player than we have. And Southampton are doing that, and look at them. If we do not go to Southampton and beat them, I am going to start asking questions about Cooper.
Yeah, because as much as we, have rubbed our hands and licked our lips at our fixture list, from Bournemouth onwards to the next 4 or 5 games, Southampton this weekend, Forest the Monday after, and then I think it's Ipswich in the league after Man United, isn't it? It's all well and good having a run like that. It's no good at all if we don't get the results that we're expecting against them.
Exactly. Well, I'm going to give you a bit of this here. Because just looking on the BBC website here, and Opta, who obviously do all the stats, and I know you're not a bit of a stat man, but looking at the next 4 games for every team in the division, it has put them English Premier League 24-25 fixture difficulty for the next 4 games. So depending who you're playing, based on their form, and the team that has got the easiest is Leicester City.
Yeah, it's fairly obvious as to why, Chris. 2 teams in the relegation zone. And
Forest, Ipswich and Man United after Southampton, like you say. Yeah. Funny thing is, at the top of that league is Bournemouth. We've got Arsenal, Villa, Man City and Brentford. Whoa. Paddy, good luck with those, mate. Look, I'm going to have to stick with what I said to Matt Letizia. As much as he is Le God, he went for a draw. I was actually on a channel yesterday on the one of the Southampton channels, just in the chat, and they were very confident they were going to beat them. And when it got to score predictions, I did put 9-0 in just to wind them up. But I've gone 2-0 to Leicester, and I think I would take that. I would very much take that now.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony, surprise, it's a team that plays in 50% red. So he's backed them to draw as well. He's gone 1-1.
They are his third team, though, let's be honest.
Third team, his 7th team. We don't know what order he has them in. If they're playing red, they've got a chance that he supports them.
Yeah, he's gone 1-1, like you said. Tommy's gone for Southampton win.
I never like that, Tommy. Anyway, I don't know about you, Chris. He's just
Who is he? Jesse's gone classic 9-10 for sure. That's what we're sticking with, Jesse. I'm not putting your proper one up. Sorry. Tom has
mean.
Jess has gone 2-0 Leicester City, agrees with me. Like the cut of that girl's jib. This is hard. I don't want to know that, Tom. He's gone 2-1 to Southampton. Well, Easy Gaming's gone 2-1 to Leicester. LCFC's gone 2-1 to Leicester. Wayne's gone 4-1. Vardy Brace. Ben Cross has gone 3-1 to Leicester. Or Wayne, what record would he break? Would who break? Oh, Vardy going to beat his record. I don't know what his record is in one game, to be honest with you. 150 goals. I don't know. I don't know what he's saying there. Google has predicted Southampton to win tomorrow.
Google's probably run by Matt Letizia, isn't it, Chris?
Well, I've got to say, I actually did, when I did the show yesterday, I did the odds. And remember, folks, you know, it isn't an answer for anything, and when the fun stops, stop. I did do the odds, and actually Southampton are favourites to win.
No, you know what? Again, not advocating it. Oh, sorry. I've just not advocating gambling, of course, but I don't understand. And I know when it's a close game, you normally get the home side get the edge. But if you look at the team's form, there's no way that anyone truly believes Southampton, even at home, are the favourites. I just don't fathom how they could think that. So that is a strange one for me. I know, like I said, usually the bookies play it safe and go for a home win. Unless you're playing like Man City, I guess, you know,
yes,
they usually go for a home win in a close game, but
yeah. Right, well, I've just put a link in the chat there for everybody. Like I say, if you want to see it, it is still on there. Matt Letizia Le God discussing Southampton, and then we had a brief chat about his time as a pundit at Sky. You've got the watch along coming up Saturday at 2:15, which Brad will be joining me for, and then Monday at 7. We've got the weekend the weekend review on the Monday night with Brad and Tom. If anybody is free and wants to come on the post match, it's the post match rant will be me, Brad, and at the moment Wayne. It was going to be Jim, but he's come all the way from America, and his brother has arranged a party at 3:00 on Saturday. And he said, "What the fuck are you doing that for?"
it's just a despicable thing. It should be banned, sacrilege. No parties on football hours.
No, exactly. Just seen your message. No problem. Stay on afterwards, mate. Brad, how can people find you?
They can find me here. Probably the best place to try and find me. Find me on Twitter at Fulltime Focus. And to coin the phrase of a business company, obviously LTID TV2 is the channel that I am in charge of. We're currently down for maintenance at the moment to get the sound to. I've just had a few production issues in terms of getting the quizzes going. But I promise you, I will be returning to making content with that there. So if you want to go and get that channel supporting ready, that would be great. But yeah, Twitter or here is the best place to find me.
Brilliant. Thanks, Brad, for joining me. Links to everybody are in the description. Thanks to the mods that are in the chat, and thanks to everybody that's joined in. And even Jessie's 9 and 10 nils. I don't know what she's drinking, but I'll have a pint of it. So thanks to everybody for joining in. If you're watching it on catch up, get your thoughts in the descriptions below on YouTube. Please do subscribe. It does help the channel, helps our algorithms. Smash the likes button as well. That even helps it even more. And let's say for $1.99 a month, I don't think you can even get half a pint for that, can you, Brad? $1.99 a month, and it does help. So at 360 or something for a year's StreamYard. We need all the help we can get. Again, the link is in the description below on how you can become a member. Brad, like I say, stay attached. Stay there. I'll speak to you after. Thanks, everybody else. All the best, and I will see you 2:15 tomorrow for the watch along. Come on, you foxes.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.